Hello Gemini, I am Ulrich, I am a Lenormand card reader, and today we will do the philosophical financial card reading for the sign of Gemini for the month of January. As always, we will do 4 card readings for the sign of Gemini for the month of January, and these are based on the natural elements in your astrological chart, or for some of you on your time of birth. These basic elements are air, earth, water, and fire. Now, the 4 objects that you always see on my table are directly connected to those elements. So you choose or you pick one that you think relates most to your personality, or you choose one you feel most comfortable with. This object of your choice, it should or it will relate the best to your current situation. However, if the object and the related video does not match your first choice, please check the other videos that are immediately connected in the same session. I'm sure one of the 4 will fit you. Anyway, the matches represent the fire element, the stone represents the earth element, the aerosol sprayer represents the air element, and the shell represents the water element. Also, I want to add, if you have questions, you can always post them in the comments below, and as soon as I have time, of course, I will answer to them. Anyway, Gemini, here we go for your financial philosophical card reading for the month of January. Hello Gemini, and welcome to the water group or the shell group for your philosophical financial card reading for the month of January. This card, if I see overall here, is that probably we need to make some serious changes in our financial behavior. We start here with the first card here. The first card is the value of the small amounts of money. Probably this card means for you that you probably pay little attention to small amounts of money, but sometimes it can have a very big impact on our finances here. Sometimes if we are struggling to meet ends, this can be very important that we control spending small amounts of money. This card asks you if you give it your sincere attention and you look at critical, that you take at it at a critical way of if you spend small amounts of money here. Because this card is here, we should pay attention to it. Just remember that it takes a lot of coins or bills to create 100, and these hundreds before they convert themselves into 1,000. So this card tells us that each coin is of very big importance here for us. So the next time that you're in the store, rate what you have bought, check out your articles before you're at the cashier, and ask yourself about the necessity of certain articles in your basket that you have or in your cart here. Anyway, here we need to look in a very critical way about certain articles that we are buying here. Sometimes this card points to overspending, people who lost track of certain expenses here. This is what we are seeing here. So this card tells us to give the value back to small little coins that we are spending or small bills here. Let it have its moment of glory. And if you do so, you will improve yourself and probably come in a better situation, because the next card that we are having here is the heavy card of the deck. This is the card about severe financial difficulties, or for some of you, this means for independent, this means bankruptcy, or that we are in a very financial difficult situation here. Anyway, this points for this card points that we probably that our financial situation is tormenting us. Maybe in the night we don't sleep very well anymore. Maybe we have certain deficits. Maybe we have reached a point of no return. If you are an independent, sometimes this card points that we should consider a bankruptcy specialist, but before you do so, especially before you sign an agreement, inform yourself well more than a professional. Evaluate these choices that are offered to you, the advantages, the disadvantages here that we are seeing here, and also make sure that you understand the impact of this process here. As you mostly as you understand, this will have an impact on your budget for the future. It will have consequences, and most likely this points that we have, or we need to have, a different lifestyle. We will probably need to change our consumption habits here related to our money. If you did not reach that point, this card tells us that it's time to reconsider for spending so much money, especially small amounts that we always spending. In another way, if you are a private person, this card can point that maybe it's wise to go to a social assistant, maybe in your community, if you have financial difficulties, and you talk to this person about your financial difficulties. Maybe they can work out a repayment plan for you for if you would have accumulated certain debts. Anyway, this card points that both groups here could be in severe problems, and this is a card that tells us we need to avoid hitting our head against the wall. So reflect over your financial situation. If you are not yet reached the point of saturnation, reflect wisely over your financial situation, because it could get from bad to worse. The last card that we are seeing here means that every gesture that we are doing is very important now. It's actually in line with the other cards here. And here it tells us here that we need to be also very careful with paying with our credit cards here. We need to understand here that if we pay with our credit card, even small amounts, the same as the first card here, that it has consequences, but this is specific about the credit cards. Then here, people sometimes get in severe financial difficulties, same as the first card here. This is a very close card reading that we have here, and this is that we need to adjust our spending with the credit card and cash spending. We need to be very careful here with spending our money, and we need to realign ourselves here with this card here. It's important here that you control your disbursements here because small amounts, it can accumulate to large amounts, and we could get into difficulties here. If we play it wisely here and we keep things under control, we could see that we recover, because this is also the card of recovery. But you will need to change your lifestyle drastically. And if you, instead of spending these small amounts, you adjust, and it's by small micro decisions of not spending, you will come on your feet here with this card. This is the card also of recovery here and control. You need to control yourself here and control your finances especially. Anyway, Gemini, this is all for the Shell or the Water Group. I hope you get a little bit wiser out of this short financial philosophical card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. If this card reading don't fit you at all, please check the other three that are immediately connected here. I'm sure one of the four will fit you. If you're interested in Lenormand card readings about more general ideas about your life, or maybe psychological, philosophical, spiritual card readings, you can all find them on my channel. We have some nice guiding cards if you are in difficult situations in your life. Anyway, Gemini, I want to thank you for your time. And of course, don't forget to subscribe, and thank you for your time. Bye-bye for now, Gemini. Hello, Gemini, and welcome to the Air Group for your philosophical financial card reading for the month of January. As the first card here, we see the card of publicity. We know that advertisement is everywhere in our life. It's here, the channel that we are watching here. There's a lot of publicity. We go outside, we see passing the bus, there's publicity on the bus. There are big boards everywhere that influence our life and have an important impact on our life here. We can no longer be insensitive. It's really a bombardment here of merchandising that is coming to us. It's everywhere. And also this card tells us that if we don't pay attention, it's easily to be fooled here. Sometimes we lose control. We are no longer able to distinguish the essential from the necessities, and sometimes we need to reconsider here for stop checking all these marketing things here. So stop reading flyers, ignore certain publicities. Maybe you're weak for that and it has a certain impact on our budgets here. Here we see also we need to take a critical look here and see that we need to see this in a different perspective here. This is what we are seeing here. We cannot be too influenced by publicity because it could have a negative impact on our budget. It points probably that this group is sensitive for information that is spread, and it's easy to buy certain goods, maybe online, maybe in your daily life here. So you should take some distance here with this card. The next card here is the card of our monthly payments. We all have monthly payments. We know this. We have our telephone bill, we have our internet bill, we have insurances, we have magazine subscriptions. These are recurrent, systematic. We don't pay attention to them. But this card tells us we actually should. A large proportion of people don't even notice increases in these monthly payments, not even if they are big ones, big increases, because we trust these payments. We have signed in and we don't focus on them here. But here we should double check if these are not increased without our consent. Maybe we signed in during a certain promo, and this promo is time limited. And afterwards, in most countries, these firms have the right to adjust if you don't sign out, or if you say that you want to stop the contract, they have the right to adjust these amounts and bring that in another, bring you in another payment. So you should double check here if you are not in different kinds of forms of payments here for your monthly payments here. Here it says also we are informed customers, and we should know that these firms have the right to change those amounts. Especially pay special attention to time-limited offers, time-limited discounts. Keep track of expirations of certain promos. If you see that they have changed your amounts, call your internet company, call the businesses that you are interacting with, and get your old discounts back here. If you have a certain insurance portfolio and it's a long time that you had this reviewed, make some review of this, because sometimes this points also that it's a long time since we reviewed our insurances here. Also, this is about our payment, our monthly and our yearly payments on our bank accounts. We all have expenses on our bank account if we withdraw money. There are annual expenses that we have here. Also, we need to be careful here. Sometimes this points that our bank is overcharging us. If you see that your bank is overcharging you and you want to change bank, sometimes first, we need to compare, of course, on the internet, what is the rates of those banks. You can mostly find the rates of these banks on the internet. And if you see that there is a difference, but actually you want more discount, what you could consider also with this card is internet banking. A lot of internet bankings is very cheap. Why is it very cheap? Well, for the simple reason that they have no branches and they have no staff. That's the reason why it's so cheap. Then I hear you thinking, yeah, but is this whole thing safe? Well, actually, with most of them, yes, because if you do a little bit investigation, you will see that they are always closely connected to the standard big banks. Mostly they operate on a different name, but you will very easily find the links to those banks here that operate on the internet. Mostly they are closely connected to big firms, or they have solid investments here. So check it out. Mostly these things are very safe here. Anyway, also we see here that all these small amounts that I just mentioned, it mounts up to a big amount. And if you calculate everything together on year basis here, you come to a serious amount. For instance, for internet banking, if you go for internet banking, it's easy to save 1,000 to 2,000 euro or dollar a year. You don't need to do specific efforts for that. It's just the basics here that I mentioned here. But of course, you need to see here and you need to consider. The last card here is actually about a financial education here and taking financial distance. It means that we need to study and educate ourselves more financially, but also if you have children, that you need to talk to your children about money. Probably also in your area, the money don't fall from the trees, and there is cash management here. And also sometimes we notice that our children are not really aware of money. I can give you a simple example. For instance, you're in the mall with the children, and they come up with some toy or some electronic gadget or some shoes, and you say, no, it's not the right moment now, we cannot. And then the answer that you get is, but mom, dad, your wallet is full of cards, we can. This is what this card means. It means that maybe they don't understand the value of money here. And here we need to see that we need to give some form of education to our young ones, to our children here. This is what we are seeing here. It's utopian. They would be able to understand how money works in this hyper-consuming society if we don't turn them into knowledgeable consumers. So talk to your children about money, break this taboo, inform them, make them aware of healthy practices. By doing so and giving them the workings of a good foundation, you will greatly help them on the long run. So Gemini, this is all for the Air Group. I hope you get a little bit wiser out of this short philosophical financial card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. If this card reading don't fit your role, please check the other 3 that are immediately connected here. I'm sure one of the 4 will fit you. If you have interested in psychological, philosophical, or spiritual card readings, you can find them all. Some of these readings are really very deep, and if you would be in some kind of issue in your life, mostly the answers is in these cards. Anyway, Gemini, I want to thank you for your time. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. And again, thank you for your time. Bye-bye for now. Hello, Gemini, and welcome to the Stone or the Earth group for your financial philosophical card reading for the month of January. As the first card here, we see the card of social pressure. What does this card mean? Well, we ourselves as people, we compare ourselves to others, to peers, to people living around us, and living in a certain community, it determines our place in that community in relation to other people. As we know, we live in a society of overconsumptions, and as you can see, and as you notice, probably our friends, neighbors, they are driving sometimes around in new luxurious cars, they're wearing nice designer clothes, they have the latest gadgets, and maybe sometimes you, for your part, you are experiencing difficulties at the end of the month. And maybe you think to yourself, how do my neighbors, friends, relatives manage to get there? Well, this card tells us, for starters, that you should not compare your situation to others or to people around you. We make choices every day, and we are the one responsible for those choices. Secondly, don't let financial appearances fool you. Here, sometimes also we have things are not what they seem. This card tells you to use your money wisely, as you do for now, and also, for instance, if you are confronted with certain expenses that you have, maybe you need to buy a new car in the future, maybe you need to buy some housekeeping things, you have some changes or some extensions that you want to do on your house, also renewal on your house here. Be careful with your money here, but this is especially here if we have expenses, like for instance, we need to buy a car or something. Here we should consider also like buying used items. For instance, there are websites specialized in used items, and these things are still in the box. They are never used. Sometimes even the warranty is with them, or they are very young, or it's something that a person misbought. It's very important here that we do so, because we can really save a lot of money with that also. If you're considering a second-hand car, for instance, you could go for a young second-hand car. If you buy from the dealer, mostly if they are young, they come with the factory warranty. But as you know, you will save a serious amount of money here if you do so, and mostly you get the full warranty. So this is what this card is about, using our money wisely here. Also, we need to live according to our own needs and abilities. Coming back here to what I said earlier regarding to neighbors, friends, what looks good on the outside also, if people spend money, does not necessarily always is so. So define yourself socially, and keep yourself, look at your personal accomplishments here, and your personality and your personal accomplishments are much more important than some superficial clothing. So don't bend for social pressure, for the latest gadgets. Don't bend for pressure out of your group, friends, peers, relatives. Everybody is his own master, so here you need to control your own life. The second card is actually for stimulating us. This is a card that tells us that we live in a world where we can buy everything. But this card is also about being creative. So it means probably you should be more creative with your spending. How to be creative with your spending? Well, by instead of spending more, spending less, and making some things yourself. For instance, your son or your daughter's birthday is coming up, or a nephew, his birthday come up, or a relative here, and you are looking for a box for putting the present in. And probably you have some materials in your house, recycled materials, and in a few minutes you can make a box that is very nice that you can wrap up here, and you have no expenses. For instance, your children's birthday is coming up, or your partner's birthday is coming up, with a little bit event in it, so we can prepare a party with some nice things and some nice foods, where you will have a lot of fun without paying an astronomical bill. Here with this card here is the card tells us that originality here is the order of the day. So start thinking out of the box and ask yourself how you can be more creative. So take some time off, think about what you could do for becoming more creative, and at the same time, of course, save money. So make room for your imaginative spirit in your kitchen. Also in the office, you can apply that, or in your business, being more creative here. So embark on this adventure that saves you money. The last card is the card of inheritances or heritage, and it tells us actually that we should not rely on a blind future. We should not rely on others for money. Also, we should be aware, maybe some people of this group are thinking that savings for retirement are not necessary. Here we need to reconsider that this is so. For some people in this group, it means probably they are about to inherit or get some money here, but also don't be fooled by this. Don't rely if for instance, an inheritance is on your doorstep. Don't rely on this purely here. Finance your old days yourself here. Also, we need to consider, unless that your parents are unfit, we have not read their will. And of course, we are not sure that we are their sole heir, and we will not be until the lawyer or the notary, they read the will here. So don't make this mistake. Also, we need to add that life expectancy has exploded over the last decades, and our parents luckily will be alive much more longer than our ancestors, as we will be. So as we get older, we need gradually more savings to pay for our services suited for our survival conditions. And of course, no one can blame them, and also not ourselves. Then also we need to add that we have the right, or each individual has the right, to change their testimony dispositions at any time. And we never know that our mother or our father, they will not change their opinion, and they will not succumb to the young Venus living next door, or Cupid they met on the internet, and they will not decide to favor this person in expense of the descendants, or they give a certain amount. An inheritance here, it tells us it can be part of a retirement analyze, but nevertheless, we need to be very careful with doing so here. With this card tells us it's better here to plan your old days or your pension independently, and if you do so, you already come out as a winner. So Gemini, this is all for the Stone Group. I hope you get a little bit wiser out of this short philosophical financial card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. If this card reading don't fit your role, please check the other 3 that are immediately connected here. I'm sure one of the 4 will fit you. If you are interested in Lenormand card readings, more about your life for the coming month, you can find that also on my channel. If you would be in some difficulty in your life, or you want to know some answers, we do also philosophical, psychological, spiritual card readings on my channel. You can find there everything. Just check it out. It will require some of your time, but sometimes we can find very good guiding in the cards. Anyway, Gemini, I want to thank you for the Stone Group for your time. And I'm sure we see each other in the other videos. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. And thank you for the week. So bye-bye and thank you for now. Hello, Gemini, and welcome to the Matches or the Fire group for your philosophical financial card reading for the month of January. As the first card here, we see the card of food. It probably means that we need to take care of the food that we are eating. We need to eat more healthy. This is what this first thing that the card tells us. But also this is a card about ordering takeout foods, buying meals that are already finished in supermarkets. And it tells us actually that we need to eat more healthy. Secondly, of course, attached to this card, if we order always out, we order online or we order pizzas, this costs us a lot of money. Here it tells us that if you calculate all these small expenses at the end of the month, probably you will be surprised what you actually spend on takeouts, fast food, gourmet dishes that you buy here. Here we see that probably these expenses that we are having have been exploding in your budget here. This card tells us also maybe we need to devote ourselves to our pots and pans. It tells us also that probably we should buy some fresh vegetables, do some make some home cooked meals as you did before. If you are not a home cook here, we see here this card tells us also we need to learn how to cook, taking more care of ourselves for our financial side, but especially for our health here. Also added to this here, if you do so and you stop buying these overconsumptions of takeouts here, you will be spared of the hefty bill. So take a break of this chain of overspending and plan more home cooking or learn yourself more to home cook. So learn yourself the joy of culinary art. You will eat better, you will feel healthier, and of course you will be financially better off. The next card that we see here is a card that tells us that time is not our friend. What does this card mean? Well, it tells us that if we have concerning our finances here and we have accumulated certain debts, or we are not financially balanced out here and we are in a difficult financial situation, or we have some open standing debts, we need to balance these out. If you wait with a repayment, you need to understand here that you pay interest on that. Sometimes if this is on credit cards, these are very substantial interests that you pay here. So don't put your head in the sand here. If you have a situation going on, don't avoid certain payments that you need to make here. Don't wait on the holidays for starting action. This card tells us we need to take action if we are in certain financial difficulties, or we need to make certain repayments that we didn't do so far. Sometimes also it's related to the first card that we hear, we need to have a change of lifestyle here. This is what this points us also. But if you would be in a financial difficult situation, this card tells us to see how to adjust our budget. So take, for instance, a paper and a pencil and analyze your situation. Write down what you spent and make columns of importance for yourself here and see where your money is going. It's important to do so, this card tells us here, and take the reins of our budget back at hand here. This is what we are seeing here. The last card is the card of our needs. What does this card tell us? Well, it tells us that we are all unique in the way we spend money. But here this card tells us we need to distinguish our real needs from what is optional or luxurious. So this card tells you, as the previous did, we need to analyze our condition. We need to distinguish what is really what we need to obligate to buy and what we desire to buy. It's also related here to the takeout food here. We need to make a fair and precise analysis. This is really about analyzing your situation, and you can save money with this. Here it's like we need to have a change of lifestyle here. And if you analyze your situation, you will see probably that you make some unnecessary expenses that you can do without. By eliminating here these incidental purchases, you will be able to have a more financial healthy life. So unnecessary and luxurious purchases here, of course, they have their place at the right time. But here we are asked to avoid surpluses. This is what this card tells us. Here, we need to make clear decisions. And if you make clear decisions, and afterwards you need to buy surpluses, you will enjoy these even more because you put them in a kind of planning. So Gemini, this is all for the fire or matches group for this month. I hope you get a little bit wiser out of this healthy card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. If this card reading don't fit you at all, please check the other 3 that are connected here. I'm sure one of the 4 will fit you. If you are interested in more deepness in your whole life, you can find, for instance, the Lenormand card readings. We do also psychological card readings, philosophical card readings. You can find them all on my channel, which are very good guides for in your life if you would be a little bit lost or you want some guidings or advice. Anyway, Gemini, I want to thank you for your time, and I'm sure we see each other in my other videos. And of course, don't forget to subscribe, and thank you for doing so. Bye-bye, and see you next time.